Hello and welcome to Cash in the Celebrity Attic, the programme that searches the homes of the famous for all those antiques and collectibles, and then we take them off to auction to sell them to raise money for really good causes. Now today I've come to meet one half of a legendary comedy double act. Now this comedy act started purely by accident at a pub, and you know size has always mattered. In 1971 they won Opportunity Knocks. Of course their public profile rocketed and stardom beckoned. Their television series on the BBC lasted for 14 years and it was hugely popular. So have you guessed who they are yet? Well, today I'm at this glorious marina at Portishead near Bristol, and I've come to meet Eddie Large of Little and Large fame. Eddie is, of course, best known for his comedy partnership with Syd Little. The Little and Large show started in 1977 and became one of the BBC's highest-rating comedy shows. Previously, the duo had won Opportunity Knocks, the 70s equivalent of Britain's Got Talent. They'd been in show business together since the 1960s as pub entertainers in and around Manchester, where Eddie was brought up. But I bet you didn't know that his real name is Edward McGinnis. He now spends his time out of the spotlight with his wife Patsy. They'd been together for 30 years and lived just a few miles from Bristol and the River Severn. Coming up today, is it ever too early to unlock the drinks cupboard?
We don't normally leave that in because the servants, we just can't trust them yet.
And why is our celebrity casting aspersions about a fellow comedian?
Yeah, I was in the theatre for 6.5 hours. I haven't been in the theatre that long since I also went to see Condell.
Now, when we get to auction, there's a glamorous new look to Eddie's double act.
40.
40? Serious? No.
Yes.
But this looks like a tough crowd to please.
18.
Very disappointed in that.
Are you disappointed in that?
Used to cost us that much to clean it.
Find out what happens when the final hammer falls. Jonty, oh, how I've missed you.
Gloria, how are you doing?
I do realise we are Little and Large.
We are the perfect Little and Large couple, aren't we?
I've at long last found a purpose for a 3-foot Irish dwarf and a very tall expert. And don't you think the environment's great?
This is a fabulous place. Now, what I want to know is whether Eddie's attic is little or large.
Well, that's the point. Probably right at the top of this house, so very large. Now, the thing is, they apparently have moved from another location, because this is all quite new.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what they've brought or haven't brought,
Yeah,
so how many
yeah,
things.
okay.
OK, Mr. Large.
Let's get inside.
Shall we go in and meet them?
Come on, let's go.
Marvellous, marvellous. It's only a year since Eddie and Patsy moved into their modern des res, after nearly 15 years of bringing up their son Ryan in a period country cottage. I hope we haven't arrived too late to find that they've already chucked out the chintz. Hi, Eddie, good to see you. And Patsy, long time no see. Yeah, really good.
How
But
did you
this
get through
isn't-
security?
Oh, I know a man who knows a man.
Oh, that's all right.
I know, but this is amazing. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, this is, we love this view, don't we, Patsy?
Yeah,
Patsy,
it's
turn
lovely.
around, it's me.
No. So,
No, that is the Bristol Channel there, Gloria.
OK.
And if you went straight ahead, you'd end up in Cardiff. We've never tried to walk it.
I was just going to say, is that your morning walk?
That would be the straight line. So,
So
yeah,
is
we
it a
love
question of, you know, like leaving your family home and then coming here quite recently?
Yeah, we did about a year ago. We downsized. Not me, but the flat. We came to live in this apartment. Don't call it a flat.
yeah,
And,
Apartment sounds very posh.
yeah.
It's, you know, within the community. It's been a gym over there with Patsy. I go 6 times a week. It's only a
I
cleaning
was
job.
making good shape on you then.
No, it's
isn't it,
only a
this
cleaning
gym?
job.
I don't know. I need to get
Look, it wasn't anything like this before I started going to the gym, so it's working.
Now, if you say you've downsized, that means that you've obviously had to get rid of a lot of stuff. So is that
yes.
what you're taking to auction today? Is that
Yeah.
what we're doing?
Yes, because obviously we lived in a cottage-type style of house before, and a lot of the stuff we brought here just doesn't fit into this ultra-modern apartment.
And for your charity today, I mean, was it a big decision to decide which charity to give the money to?
No, not really. We're trying to raise funds for the British Heart Foundation, because I had a slight heart problem, as many people know. And so,
How many years ago are we talking about now?
Well, I had a heart transplant 6 years ago.
A transplant?
Well, yes, I did, yeah. Old one out, new one in.
Wow.
And so, you know, I feel very strongly about donating organs as well.
Yeah.
And
I bet you feel very grateful for this heart.
every day, yeah, without a doubt. I mean,
And how much money would you like to raise today?
500, it'd
Yeah,
be lovely,
500
that, wouldn't
would
it?
be
About £500.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. So you're ready to go in and start a bit of business here?
Yeah.
Good thinking.
Or do you want a last lingering look at the Bristol Channel?
No, we'll see it again, won't we?
We will.
Trouble is, I might not. It's inspiring, you know, to see Eddie's passion for a charity that's so personal to his own experience. And I'm also relieved to hear that helping this couple declutter should free up some much-needed space. Our antique hunter, John D. Herndon, is already hard at work. He's been involved in the antiques business for more than 20 years, and I wonder if he's found anything of interest yet. Oh, Mr. Large, meet Mr. Large. And Mrs. Large, who's
Hi.
actually no taller than I am.
Great to see you.
Forgotten about you.
I feel like I've been caught red-handed. I've got the booze in my hand and it's only
Yes,
in the morning.
I was
We
just going to
don't
say, on the
normally-
drink already.
We don't normally leave that in because the servants, we just can't trust them yet.
Eddie, you're absolutely right. The servants ordinarily couldn't get hold of the booze because the master of the house had the key. So this is the whole point of a tantalus, which were very, very popular around the late 19th century, early 20th century. But this is a modern reproduction, am I right?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Where was this from?
I played a golf, BBC Two Celebrity Golf. I'd never been on this programme, and they invited me on. I was dying to get on. And so we're on a tour, and I keep phoning Patsy saying, have they phoned and said who the professional golfers were going to be playing are? Playing with are? No. One day I phoned and said, you'll never believe who you're going to play golf with. I said, who? She said, Mike Reid. You know, Mike the actor,
Oh, yeah,
comedian.
yeah.
I said, yeah, but what about the professional golfers? She went, Arnold someone and somebody player.
Oh, right, yeah.
Arnold Palmer, Gary Player. Yeah, but isn't it great we'll be playing with Mike?
I know.
So that was
did
that was the day I got that.
Really?
The thing is,
Never did
Patsy, have you liked this tantalus over the years?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You can
love
see
it.
we haven't used it. We haven't drank
Yeah.
any of it.
Is that
but-
the original
no.
drink?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
it's all
it is.
sealed here, yes, yeah. So as far as the tantalus is concerned, is this something that we can take to the auction site?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much do you reckon we'll get for it?
We're looking at like 40 to 60 pounds.
Well, we have the tantalising Mrs.
Yeah.
Large,
Yeah.
and we have the tantalus going to auction, so I think that's a great start. So
Excellent.
shall we move to a different room and
Yeah.
perhaps find something else?
Should we go this way?
Yes, I
Come
think
on.
so.
May I say that Eddie's target of £500 is not yet tantalisingly close, even with that reasonable estimate to get us started. So we divide our energies right across the apartment. Eddie's first find on the balcony is a pair of flintlock pistols. Now, if I had antiques like this, I'd keep them firmly under lock and key. Original duelling pistols can fetch thousands of pounds at auction, but as these are non-firing reproductions for decorative reasons only, Jonty's valued them at just £20 to £40. While I have a quick touch-up, just kidding, this brush is way too big for me. Jonty's attention turns to a wall full of memorabilia, gathered by Eddie over his colourful career.
So, Eddie, look at this. This is you with old Brucey and Jethro.
yeah.
Yeah, and tell me about this. This
This
great.
one.
Yeah, Sandy's Stableford, Wentworth, 1992.
Yeah, this was an annual charity day they used to have.
Yeah.
And I'm really chuffed about this because Sandy would stay all day on a par 3. I think it might have been the 11th or 12th, I'm not 100%.
This is Sandy Lyle.
Sandy Lyle, I do
Okay.
apologise.
Yeah.
Yes, Sandy Lyle, who won the Masters, didn't he? Won the British Open.
1998 he did.
Fantastic golfer, Sandy.
Yeah.
And so if you beat him, if you got better than his score on this par 3 hole, that was the reward. And I actually got a 2 to Sandy's 3.
No.
So that I've been really proud of that
Wow.
hole since whenever it was.
Well, they've got 1992, so he would have, at that moment, still been completely the top of his tree.
Oh, he
as
was,
far as
yeah.
the game's concerned. Well, that's absolutely fabulous that you've got one of the best golfers of the 20th century, the great Sandy Lyle, the Scotsman Sandy Lyle, who's actually signed the actual glass. And I love the fact there's your connection with this. I mean, that's what's going to give it fantastic provenance. Your connection with this print and Sandy Lyle. Great combination.
And of course, Sandy tells that story all the time.
I bet he does.
The day Eddie Large beat me.
Yes, I'm sure he's forgotten that a long time ago. But that's wonderful. And I certainly think we can put that into the auction sale. And I reckon on a good day, with the wind behind us in the auction room, we're looking at 150,
Really?
£200.
Can I keep it?
No, you can't.
That'd be
You told me now.
fantastic.
You told me now you could sell it.
Yeah, but I didn't know what it was worth. Oh, that's fantastic. That's made my day, that.
That's brilliant. Well, I'm chuffed to bits. You've shown me that. Wonderful. Proper hole in one, that one.
Yeah, no.
That old pun. Eddie had no idea of the value of his Wentworth print. Now, what we really need on auction day is a bidding war going on between golfing fans. Even with its minimal looks, the apartment is offering up plenty of collectibles. But we have yet to find anything that relates to our host's famous comedy partnership with musician Syd Little.
We used to meet at a dance hall.
And where was this?
This was near Manchester, Sale in Manchester, the Locarno. And of course, you'd meet up with the girls, and it became a sort of gang of teenagers. And Syd used to sing and play guitar at a local pub. And so we used to all go and watch him. And then at, say, 10 o'clock at night, we all wanted to get up because we were fueled then. Poor Syd had been on stage since 7 o'clock. And I was one of them. So I'd get up, Syd, will you play this song? And started clowning around. And we'd come off stage and people would say, how does he keep his face so straight when you were clowning around? And we hadn't even thought about it. Because he was concentrating, trying to play these songs, and I was just so full of nerves and beer that I was just acting the fool.
How much did life change for you after Opportunity Knocks?
Well, it did. I mean, 1 minute you can go shopping and no one bothers you. Next minute, people asking for autographs, which you're not used to. It did change a lot. It changed mainly when we did our first television series.
Did you, as an individual, take to that stardom easily?
Not me. No. No, I was very, 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 very shy.
Now, we must obviously talk about your health, and I want to also talk about it with Patsy later on, because I always think that the families actually suffer not quite as much, but almost as much, watching an illness or watching a condition. How bad had your general health got before you had to have the transplant?
Well, the last thing we did together, me and Syd, was pantomime in Hull, and I was a mess. I mean, I never slept for 25 nights. I used to sit in the hotel in a chair like this, because if I lay down, the liquid would get into my lungs, and I'd have to sit up. So that was 25 nights.
You literally couldn't breathe.
Because my heart was so weak that it wasn't pumping the liquid round. I was actually drowning from within. I wasn't eating or getting massive. We actually did a tour, me and Syd, prior to the whole panto, and my GP said, what are you doing? I said, oh, we're doing this tour 6 nights a week, all these holiday camps, blah, blah, blah. And he said, you do realise you could drop dead at any moment? So, obviously, I'm not going to tell my wife, because women get upset about things like that.
Well, we'll talk about that with Patsy later, because I'm sure she was deeply upset at the time as well. But I think it's time we did a bit more work. Otherwise, you and I will never raise all this money, will we? But it's such a good cause, and obviously, because you have such a deep personal reason to want to raise the money, I think we should get at it, eh?
I think
so shall we go then?
A great idea.
OK. I'm really impressed by Eddie's philosophical outlook and determined to do all we can to support the good cause. Jaunty shares my aim. He's just set eyes on a pair of ceramic money boxes, modelled on that all-time classic double act, Laurel and Hardy. They were presented to Eddie by a friend from Panto days. Now, Jaunty thinks they could be worth £15 to £30, so when Eddie gives us his blessing to sell them, that's another fine mess he's gotten us out of. Meanwhile, Patsy's eyeing up this reproduction antique chair, one of a pair she inherited from her parents. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the chairs are destined to be sold. Now, as I continue my search chez Large, I think I can hear the patter of tiny feet. What on earth is going on?
Got a new arrival?
Not yet. Could be any minute now.
Is this something we can sell, the crib?
Well, I hope so. It was, it's in our son's room, because if he throws a tantrum, we always say to him, you're going to sleep in there if you're going to be like that. No, it's like a room again. Yeah. But then again, you know, if me and Patsy have another one, it's handy, isn't it?
It'd be a miracle.
It'd be the new Messiah. No, it's just, it's in here because of lack of space, simple as that.
Right, OK.
It's got to go.
This is stained beech.
Yeah.
And often, throughout time, people have stained beech, which is, of course, an indigenous timber to the UK. They've often stained it to look like more tropical timber, so more like mahoganies.
Yeah.
So this is probably what people have done here. That it's just been stained down to look like a more sort of tropical hardwood. But that's all fine, because the other great thing about beech is it's very easy to turn. Hence the reason why, if you look at the spindles, those are nicely turned as well. So nice little features.
Oh, right,
yeah. So this is going to be difficult to part with before we go any further.
Thinking of, I'm all right with it now, but before, I mean, a while ago, I thought, no, that's why we've had it, you know, all packed down over the years.
Yes.
But, you know, we've decided now, and I'm all right about it now, that we will let it go.
You can let it go.
We're not going to have any more.
We're not going to have any more. I know
She
that,
decided.
but
Nothing to do with me.
You sure about that? Well, definitely put it in the auction sale.
Yeah.
Value £40 to £60 in the auction sale.
I know.
Well, you've got to remember, when we're selling at auction, we're selling to dealers who have to make a profit at the other end. Okay.
I can understand how difficult it must be for Patsy to part with the crib, particularly as their son Ryan once used it. But, you know, it makes sense to convert it into cash, particularly with a good cause standing to benefit. Now, the technical term for this little shelf unit is a whatnot. Made in the 19th century, it was bought for Eddie by a friend. It was ideal for the old cottage, but it doesn't match the modern decor. So it's off to auction with a price tag of £40 to £60. Eddie's search seems to have taken him back to his comedy club beginnings with Syd Little. Surely this can't be one of Supersonic's guitars. Nah, probably not.
Jonty, what do you think of this?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Quite extraordinary. Where did it come from?
Tehran. I went to Tehran, I think it was the early 70s, when I was with a singing girl group called the Vernons.
Okay.
And I bought it over there in one of the markets over there.
Wow.
And it's fantastic, isn't it?
So they still had the Shah of Iran. It was all a very different country then.
In fact, we sang for him too. He came in, and we were in the cabaret room in this big hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was in the audience.
Was that a bit nerve-wracking?
Yeah.
Or you...
But no, I mean, it's a great experience to go there.
So what inspired you to buy it?
I just love the look of it, and it's unusual. Well, I mean, you don't see them very often, do you?
Well, it's called a samovar.
Yeah.
And it's all designed to keep your water hot. But not only that, because you've got your tea, concentrated tea at the top, and your drip tea down at the bottom. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that, yeah.
So is this an object that you can take to home? Because I want to know who cleans it.
Well, I do have a girl that comes and cleans for me once a week, and she does it. But, yeah, you know, it does need a good bit of cleaning. But I don't do it.
And I would suspect, therefore, you might want to sell this because it doesn't really go with all the clean lines of your modern flat.
Yeah, it doesn't work in this apartment. It's too modern for it. But it was lovely in our old house, but, yeah, it's no good now, not here.
As far as value in the auction is concerned, it's certainly an object that's definitely worth selling. It's wonderfully decorative.
Yeah.
It's a sort of object that would look great, let's say, if you're doing a tea house or something relatively exotic, wanting an object that's just a little bit different. It's perfect.
It'd be great, wouldn't it?
It's absolutely perfect. Value, we're looking at between £50 and £100.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite good, I think.
Yeah.
We could get some more.
Oh, yes.
With a bit of luck. But, yeah, no, that sounds good. Oh, I'm so glad.
Great.
Yeah. So we'll pop that in the auction.
I'm not sure that she's that impressed, but let's hope this magnificent brass samovar will turn a few heads at the auction. Now, Patsy's inspired to go looking for other brassy items that can go with it. A rummage under the bed brings out a collection that used to hang around the fireplace at Eddie and Patsy's cottage. Now, of course, they're gathering dust, but with luck, they could add another £30 to £60 to the pot. However pleasant the largest home may be, it's always good to catch a breath of fresh air, especially with the marina so close at hand. Well, I was actually saying on the way out of your apartment how fantastic not only to have the view, but to have a restaurant right underneath where you live.
It's
too
great.
Easy, too comfortable.
Too easy, yeah. And
Not so much cooking for me.
No, she doesn't cook. Well, Patsy stopped cooking when she kept putting a PIN number in the microwave.
Now, Tim, the two of you seem to have just a lovely, lovely, warm relationship. But where did you meet?
We actually met in Panto in 1977.
In Liverpool.
In Liverpool.
Yeah.
She was Aladdin.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit of the old thigh slapping then, Patsy, yes.
And I was Syd Little, straight man.
Wishy and washy you were?
Wishy and washy, yeah. I was both. No, and that's how that was the first time we met.
First met.
And then we got together in 1979, so it'll be 30 years this year.
What do you like about Patsy in particular?
She makes me laugh, Gloria. Yeah, she's funny without realising she's funny, and that's what I love.
We were talking, obviously, about your heart condition earlier on. What had you noticed, Patsy?
Well, I just noticed that he just couldn't walk anywhere. He was so out of breath. And I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen. We thought it was asthma.
I was being treated for irregular heartbeat, and I had a pacemaker fitted. And as luck would have it, the heart specialist was at a cocktail party with the guy who was treating me for asthma.
Yeah.
And they got talking, and my name cropped up. And the chest man said, I'm treating him for asthma. He said, what do you mean? He said, he's got irregular heartbeat. And it just fell into place. And then he said, you've got heart failure.
How
So
lucky
I
was that?
Yeah.
Gosh, it just looked like a chance thing. How long was the operation?
About 6.5 hours, 7.
Yeah, I was in the theatre for 6.5 hours. I haven't been in the theatre that long since I also went to see Condell.
That's a good gag, actually. I'll keep that in the end.
Keep that in.
And how long was the recovery?
About a month, wasn't it?
I was in hospital a month,
for
yeah.
a month.
Yeah. Then I suppose the recovery just continues. Yeah, because you have to watch the rejection and all that kind of thing, yeah.
Exactly.
So do you have to take a lot of drugs then?
Yeah, about 20 odd tablets a day.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't need maracas to play anymore. Just do this.
As you can see, it's a little breezy down here, so maybe it's a good time to get back to our rummage. At least Jaunty's happy and still finding items for sale. This Bristol blue glass decanter was picked up by Eddie at an auction. It's been quite a while since he's kept any whiskey in it, but it's in great condition, with a fine spiral detail on the neck. It's worth 20 to 30 pounds. Patsy may have met Eddie in a panto, but I was really amused to discover that she was once a hostess on the legendary TV game show called 3-2-1. That may explain where my last find of the day comes from. And in the bedroom, who do I find but Dusty Bin? Now, I'm old enough to remember Dusty Bin. 3-2-1 was the name of the programme, wasn't it?
3-2-1 was, yeah.
Or do that signal again.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
That's
People
right.
might not know. Because no pensioners will remember 3-2-1.
That's true.
So how many years were you with that programme?
2 years.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it, yeah. Yeah,
And
had some
are we
good
talking
times.
about the late 70s, 80s?
Yeah, it was in the
Late 70s, yeah.
As a
yeah,
matter
yeah.
of fact, 3-2-1 were the opposition to the Little and Lad show on BBC.
So you never watched it?
Never watched it.
Go
Didn't
on.
even know she'd done anything.
Did.
So this is actually very collectible when you think
It
about
is,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Now I want to get Jaunty. I know he's hovering around somewhere. Jaunty, we're in the bedroom. Jaunty, come in and join
With
us.
two ladies in the bedroom.
Look what I found, Dusty Bin. You're too young, of course, to remember Dusty
Excuse me, no, I'm not. I remember Dusty Ben.
Do you?
Of course I do. Yeah. Mr.
Not
Ted
as young
Rogers.
as he
That's
looks.
it.
3-2-1, all the rest
3-2-1.
of it. I had no idea Dusty Bin was actually a ceramic. I always assumed that he might have been a plastic something or other, but this is wonderful.
So this is the booby prize, by the way.
Yes,
This is what you got when you
yes,
lost.
it was,
Yeah, I think I prefer to have the booby prize. I think
Yeah.
this is fabulous. Now, Mr. Dusty Bin, I've just noticed he's got his thumb off. Was that?
No.
I know.
Was that you? Yes, Patsy.
Yeah, well, I think it wasn't
job it
dusting
wasn't 5-4-3.
Right.
Dusting Dusty Bin.
Right,
What, you
right.
dust?
I do that.
Now, as far as ceramics are concerned, they have to be in mint condition. So I'm a little bit concerned about his thumb off matter. But of course, he comes with so much history if you're going to be sold. As far as value is concerned, because he has such fabulous provenance, I think he's got to be worth at least £60, and we're looking at possibly a lot more than that. So I would put a value right from the word go of £60 to £100 on
What do you think,
Yeah,
madam?
yeah, that
Mr.
sounds
Dusty
good.
Bin.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
very,
Is that
very
right?
good,
Yeah,
actually.
fair
So
enough.
you wanted to raise about £500.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant if
Well, at the moment, everything being equal, and Jaunty tends to sort of go on the low side rather than the high, rather than disappoint. But at the
Yeah.
moment, you've got £465.
Oh,
Yay!
great tune.
Brilliant.
That's good, isn't it?
Great.
Oh,
Yeah.
if only.
So not much Dusty Bin about that figure. I know, it's good. Now, considering he was once a consolation prize, Dusty Bin's turned out OK for us. I have to say it's been a very enjoyable rummage with the larges, and I can't wait to see how the rest of Eddie and Patsy's items perform. Hidden in the corridor, a Victorian whatnot, ideal for storing knickknacks, worth upwards of £40. The tallest tea urn in Tehran, brought back by Patsy in her suitcase after she sang for the Shah in the 70s, could make £50 to £100. And a souvenir of Eddie's pro-celebrity golf tournament at Wentworth, signed by the legendary Sandy Lyle. Fingers crossed it reaches the lowest estimate of £150. Still to come and cash in the celebrity attic. As our hostess takes to the sale room, her grasp of maths is called into question.
He's on 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that's
You can only
true.
count backwards.
A few of our sales turned out to be shockers. I shake my head in horror. Will Eddie and Patsy make their £500? You have to stay with us for the final hammer. So a few weeks have passed since we turned over Eddie and Patsy's place. They're bringing their items just an hour down the M5 to sell at Lawrence's in Crewkerne and Somerset. The bidders, I'm glad to say, are already piling in for a good look at the furniture, toys and timepieces. Our antique hunter Jonty is right in the thick of it, even though his thoughts are of Middle Eastern infusions. Good morning, Jonty. Now, this item I really, really like. Judging by the amount of tea you and I drink, this would just about do us for a programme.
Yes, it's not full at all, unfortunately, so I can't even offer you a cuppa.
It's very grand, isn't it? I like the little teapot at the top.
The thought of Patsy packing this all up and bringing it back home, it just astounds me. I think it's
I
quite
know, the thought of Patsy cleaning this is way beyond belief. Now, do you think this will sell well today?
Well, I hope so. It's decorative enough. And as I was just talking to her about it, somebody who wants to create an image or create an effect, it's just perfect. In fact,
Shall I buy it for you for Christmas or something?
no, it's fine.
You can do it like this, can you?
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, the thought of cleaning it, I have to say, you know.
The other thing that I remember of Patsy's is the dusty bin, but of course she was hostess on that programme,
Yes,
wasn't
absolutely.
she? Will that sell, do you think?
Well, I'm hoping so. It's got a little bit of damage, but it's an iconic item, and I'm sure it'll sell very well.
Now, I think on the programme, see, Patsy would have taken her contestant and led him or her off, which is what I'm going to do with you, so get off. You know, I've wanted to say that for ages. Back in the old days on Game Show 321, any sign of dusty bin would have brought bad luck to the contestants. Let's hope that isn't true of today's proceedings. Hey, is that the hostess with the mostess I see with her very well-known husband, Eddie Large? How are you both? Good?
Yeah, good.
So Dusty Bin has survived. I'm terrified of this lid falling off.
Yeah,
I know. And what did you used to do with this?
Well, don't forget, this was the consolation prize for the losers, but everybody wanted a dusty bin. The winners even, but yeah. No,
Are you happy to let it go now?
Yeah.
So listen, before we go to the auction, do me your hostess with the mostess stance.
I am the hostess with the mostest.
She hasn't lost
Made a comeback.
Well, I used to be, but not now.
You've got competition here today, Eddie Large.
I couldn't compete with
Now,
Patsy.
do you like auctions?
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
And you're all set?
I bought her at one.
Well, I tell you what, let's go and sell her at one as well.
I think so.
Okay, we'll go this way, yeah. Oh, we're awful. What a way to speak of such a lovely lady. But as we make our way to our little corner, it looks like the auctioneer's getting ready to sell our first lot. We present those classic comedians Laurel and Hardy as you've never seen them before. Ceramic money pots. So what do you think these will sell for, Jonty?
Well, I'm hoping we'll get £15 to £30, that sort of area.
That's a fairly low estimate, really.
Yes, but one's slightly damaged as well. So,
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Start me at 10. Any bid of 5? 5, thank you. Ladies' bid of £5. Any advance now? 8, 10, 12. Any advance? At £12. Last time?
disappointing.
Oh,
disappointing. £12.
No money in the room. I'd have bought them back.
395.
Oh, just £3 beneath Jonty's lowest estimate. And it's a slightly bittersweet way to start the sale. Now remember, we're hoping to make £500 in support of Eddie's charity, the British Heart Foundation. Ideally hope the pulse of this sale beats a little bit faster. Next, a collection of vintage brass items that once took pride of place in Eddie and Patsy's cottage. They're quite unsuited, of course, to life in a modern des res overlooking the Bristol Channel. Let's hope they're snapped up for at least £30. I know you're fond of your brass there, Eddie, but how much brass is in this? Like, what kind of things?
It was going...
Coaching horses?
Yeah.
Crocodile nutcracker?
Yeah, we had it around our lovely big open fireplace.
Oh, so it's all the horse plates and things,
and we had like big spoons and big fork and a bed warmer pan. And
we've got electric
did you ever
blanket.
use it?
No.
No.
Lecky blanket.
£10 here. Any bit of 10? Any bit of 10? £10 anywhere? 10, thank you. Ladies' bid now of 10, 12, thank you. 15, 15, and £15 now. 18, new bidder, at £18, far right. I sell at 18. thank you, madam.
18.
Well, it's 18. It's
18?
18.
Disappointing, Eddie.
Very
For your
disappointed
brass.
in that.
Are you disappointed in that?
Used to cost us that much to clean it.
I don't like it. Another low sale, and we're really struggling to get off the starting blocks today. At least Eddie can put his polishing duties to one side. Next, an item that was given to our comedy star in a BBC competition. No, not a blankety-blank checkbook and pen. In fact, it's the most tantalising pair of whiskies I've ever seen, aged 12 to 21 years. We've just managed to prize the key out of Eddie's hand. I love this word, tantalus. I just think it's a great word apart from anything else. But if I remember correctly, you won this at golf, didn't you?
Well, it was a BBC Two celebrity golf, and it was one of the prizes that they gave you for coming along.
20 then, to start. Any bid of 20. It's viewing ahead of me. At 20, thank you. A maiden bid then of £20. Any advance now at £20. You're all done. It's an opening bid of £20. Any more? At £20.
The whiskey's in the decanters.
12-year-old.
12-year-old whiskey.
It was when I got it 18 years ago.
25. 28, madam? 28. 30. No? At £30 seated, it includes the whiskey. At £30 then. At £30 seated, I sell. You're all done. Thank you, madam.
Another bargain.
Well.
Another bargain.
Oh, I thought we'd have got a bit more.
We'll have to
Take
drink
your
the whiskey
jaw
and
up
get over it.
Bit. I know. Oh, the tantalus could have gone for a little more, but at least everything is selling, and that means we're creeping towards our target. £60 so far, just another 440 to go. So let's stay positive. How lovely to see one of my favourite items coming up next. Eddie and Patsy once cradled their son Ryan in it, a reproduction in Beechwood from a well-known department store. Could this crib liven up Crew Cairn?
When I had Ryan, that's when I got the crib, and
I think
it's
it was a
lovely.
brilliant thing to do, buy a crib when you're having a baby. That's so inventive.
No, but
Did you drape it
because,
and everything
no,
yourself?
it came with it, but it's lovely.
It's with me at 10. At £10. Any advance now? At 10. 15.
Doesn't want to sell it
20.
for 10.
25. No, at £25. You all done?
The baby's crib.
Oh, I know, I was disappointed.
It was.
Yeah, I couldn't let it go for that, So we're
No,
keeping
but
that now,
was
won't we, darling?
disappointing. So we'll keep
I
it
think
now.
we're keeping it.
Because you never know. We're going away for a romantic weekend next week, so you just never know.
Typical of Eddie, always look on the bright side of life. And that's just what we need today. You can never tell how an auction is going to turn out. As our roller coaster ride continues, we come to the Bristol Blue Glass decanter with decorated neck. Eddie once bought it at an auction for a very special reason.
Actually, I'll tell you what happened with this. We were at a dinner and they were auctioning this decanter. So they asked Patsy to come up and hold it and parade around with it. So I think it got to about 100 and something, £150. So the auctioneer said, now whoever buys this can have a kiss of Patsy. So I foolishly went, 155, he said sold.
20, thank you. Ladies' bid of £20. Seated now at 22 now, thank you. 25. 28. No, at 28, it's the ladies' bid. At £28. You're all done. At £28. I sell. Last time.
Well, compared to Eddie's outlay at that original charity auction, the Blue Glass hasn't brought him in a great return. But selling here in a general sale at £2 beneath Jaunty's higher estimate, it's performed reasonably well. We're nearing the end of the first half of the sale, and up next is a whatnot. Yes, that's actually what this Victorian shelf unit is known as.
Once upon a time, they really were very popular. They've slightly waned in value over recent years, but your whatnot is very good condition, and I'm hoping that we're going to get at least £40 to £60 for it.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, I know. We've got to get at least that for it, haven't we?
Yeah.
20, 25, 30, 5, 40.
Yes.
Gentleman's bid
Yes.
then at £40, right at the back at £40. I sell. Last time.
I tell you what, you got the 40 quid, but that is a bargain.
That is a bargain of a
I tell you,
lifetime.
honestly, because the wood in it is really in very good nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Good condition, but there you go.
At last, a sale on estimate, and it's also quite a high one for us today. But I wonder if it's good enough to keep our charity fund in good health. I like snuggling up to you, Eddie. I know, it's lovely. You're nice and snuggly.
Like a mattress.
Lovely. Now listen, we're at the halfway point in the auction. I know you're a bit disappointed at some of the items, but remember, you have some bigger items to come in the second half. So you're looking for around £500 for this very good charity, British Heart Foundation. At the moment, it is maybe slightly disappointing to you, but it is all mounting. It's at 128 at the halfway point. But that's not too bad, because you've got other items to come, so £128. And you know what? I'll buy you a cup of tea as well. Off you go this way.
Come on, then.
No gin, no tonic, just tea. It is true, we have an obsession with tea, and we can't blame it on the influence of the urn from Iran that's still waiting to go under the hammer. Now, if you've been inspired to go to auction, remember that charges such as commission always apply, whether you're buying or selling. Your local sale room will be able to give you, though, all the details. We return hoping that many, many golfing fanatics have shown up to fight over Eddie's print of Wentworth, signed by a golfing legend. Jonty's valued it at £150, and Eddie thinks it's worth every single penny.
I actually beat Sandy Lyle on a par 3. I actually got a 2 to Sandy's 3, and that was just... It was shortly after he won the British Open, I think. So he was cooking on gas, and I was just cooking. It was a very warm day.
Any more at 40?
I hope Sandy Lyle isn't watching, and I also hope that Eddie is still able to look on the bright side after yet, I'm afraid to say, another disappointing sale. So what are the chances of our tea dispenser from Tehran making an impact on the crowd? Now remember, Patsy brought it back after a singing tour in the early 70s.
Any bit of 10? £10 I have. 10, 15, 20.
Yes.
At £20 at the back, then. I sell at £20. 25, new bidder. At £25, here on my right, at £25. You're all done at £25. I'll sell.
I think that's 25.
And that sale brings our running total to £193, which means our final 2 items will have to sell for £150 each if we're going to make Eddie's charity target. The trio of antique flintlock pistols are up next. They're replicas, and so no special licence is needed to sell them. So how much, Jonty, do you think?
I'll put £20 in it, but let's see what happens, because at the moment they've got their hands in their pockets, really, haven't they? So,
Have they?
yeah.
Good. I think they've all gone for tea out of the samovar.
Yeah. I think they're all coffee drinkers, actually.
I bid 10, any advance? 10, 12, 15. At 15 now. You're all done at 15.
Ola, that was
15.
quick.
That was very short and sweet.
3, 6 wheels down.
Boom.
I had
50
hardly
pounds.
drawn a breath. It was done. 15. Perhaps it's just as well, because it means we hardly have a moment to register another low result. There's an awful lot riding on our final item, but with the very best will in the world, I can't see anyone in this somewhat frugal crowd parting with hundreds of pounds for a good old dusty bin. Unless, of course, Patsy and Eddie can work up a little showbiz magic. So are you ready to go? You're pair of you going to go up onto the podium, yeah?
You're both going to go up?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both going up.
Double it.
Wonderful. Double out on the
Yeah,
screen.
Good
I'll
luck.
parade round with it, right? Yeah.
Double out, you get twice the money.
Won't I?
Yeah.
Give it the old
Give it the old
routine.
razzle dazzle.
Off you go.
Okay, good luck.
See you later.
Hope it goes well.
You all remember Dusty Dip Bin? She was inside it.
And
So,
you can't
can we
get...
have a first bid of £2,000? Or shall we start lower? I've never done this before, but I know you're all very wealthy in Crewkern. So what should we say, everybody? Shall we start at £20? Any advance on 20?
30?
30, we were asking 35. Anybody ask 35?
35?
Anybody ask 35? 35? Fiver? No, 35.
35?
30?
All going to a good cause?
Very, very good cause.
Come on, another £5. 35?
Oh, she's getting bossy now.
Eh?
You,
35,
there you go. 35.
thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.
So 35?
So £35 going once?
40?
40? Serious? No.
Yes, 40 for that gentleman over
Seriously,
there.
where?
Over there by
Oh,
the door,
excellent.
darling. Get your glasses
Thank you
on.
very much. £40, £40. I think he's trying to goad you. £40 going once?
Going once? You sure? Oh, you didn't do it twice.
I haven't done twice yet.
Oh, all right.
£40. She never could count, and she was on 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that's
She can only
true.
count backwards. Where was it up to? Oh,
Going
2.
once.
Going twice. Sold for £100. Oh, no, 40, sorry. I've never seen a man go.
Thank
Give him a big
you.
round of applause. Yeah, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Now back to the real thing.
I better give this to someone.
And I won't give up my day job, I know what you're thinking.
Look, I know you're disappointed, but did you quite enjoy going up onto the podium?
Loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It was good fun.
Yeah.
Turn the lights on, we're there.
Open the fridge door, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love these two, always smiling, always cheery. But you know, £40 isn't bad for this slice of nostalgia, especially when you remember that poor old Dusty Bin had a broken thumb. Oh. So I'm afraid that's it. Not what I'd call a supersonic sale. And I hope our lovely celebrity couple won't be too downhearted. Well, I want to tell you both that from the moment we entered your flat to come into the auction, you just have been tremendous fun. We would have forgotten about the money, just done it just to be with you and have a few laughs. So it's wonderful. I know that you're a bit disappointed, and actually we're all a bit disappointed because I think the room is pretty empty. I don't think the right buyers are here. You wanted £500. Well, it's a great charity, and we have a saying in this programme that anything for a charity is worthwhile. So your full-time total is £248.
But the good news is there's a lot more room in our flat.
Eddie and Patsy put on a very brave face on their final outcome. £248 is less than half the figure that Eddie hoped to raise, but even so, he knows it'll make all the difference to his charity.
As you know, I did have a heart transplant over 6 years ago, and without people like the British Heart Foundation, they wouldn't have had the expertise to do that kind of thing. So, anything helps.
With the research centre at London's Imperial College, the foundation works all over the UK, fighting heart disease by funding research into diagnosis, prevention and cure. Charmaine Griffiths from the foundation knows how far the cash will go.
Eddie's money will really help support British Heart Foundation research. Everything helps.
Well, I think it's fabulous. Any money that's raised for heart research, after what I've been through, can only be good for everybody, yeah? Brilliant.